Joining us, Eric Dickerson. Thank you so much for joining us.
How you doing? I don't need the mic.
Good, yeah. There's your mic there. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm Ian. This is Cody.
Nice to meet you.
Let's start. We're here at the Super Bowl. Thoughts leading up to this game, and specifically, obviously, the player that you're being asked about the most, I'm sure, which is Saquon Barkley.
I think he's a great player. I'm glad to see him get out of New York. I never thought he'd reach his potential in New York. That general manager needs to have his ass fired for sending him into the same division. Yeah. But that's just it. But that's not smart. But I think he's a great player, and I really believe that the Eagles would not be here in this situation if it was not for him. Yep, and they want to kill the running game. If the running back is not important, so it shows that running game is important.
Which I think is a huge role that not only Saquon Barkley's played. I think this season there's been a lot of running backs that have had very good years, and they're kind of proving that it's still an extremely important position, and they deserve a little bit more credit than what they're getting.
Well, to running backs and I think and defensive players, they never bought into that. I think
right.
The media bought into it, reporters bought into it, y'all might have bought into it. But the players never bought into it. I won't forget, I was with Lawrence Taylor, Bruce Smith, and Ricky Jackson. And I asked them guys, I said, man, let me ask you a question. How about if you didn't have to have one run, no runs? And all of them said, no runs, no running backs? Oh, man, we'd love that. He said, we'd love it. He said, we'd kill it.
Right.
People don't realize what a running game does to a defense. It wears them down. They got to chase running back, got to chase a running back. They got to fight the offensive lineman. Then they got to pass rush. They got to chase a running back again. And if you got a real back, not these guys that you say, well, we can have two backs. If you got two backs, you got two garbage backs.
Right.
If you got a great back, it's a difference. He's a difference maker, but he has to have an offensive line.
Right.
I was fortunate to never have an offensive line at the Rams. I never had a great quarterback, but when they played 8-9-man fronts against me, but and Saquon's fortunate enough to have a lot of weapons, and I like to see it because I know the frustration if you can't get to the line of scrimmage. It's no fun.
Yeah, it's hard to be at your best as a running back if you get to the line of scrimmage and there's guys already in your face.
Man, I can tell you a story. I just talked to Bruce Smith the other day about it. We played them when I was in Indianapolis, and they were getting to Jeff George so fast he was barely getting the ball handed off. And they hit me one time, and he was helping me up. He said, "Man, Dick, they can't block us. We're gonna hurt you out here, man." But what you got? I got to try to run the ball.
Yeah.
Now, so talking about Saquon, he sat and rested in Week 18, or else he would have had the chance to, potentially break your record. But obviously, it would have been in the 17th game. You didn't get the 17th regular season game. So, do you think that as the record books may start to be rewritten with the 17th game, do you think that those records hold the same weight as, say, your record?
I'm going to say this much here. Anytime you have 2,000 yards, that's a great season.
100%.
And I saw where Shady McCoy said that it should have been an asterisk by it. That's bullshit. I never said that. And I would never say that because O.J. did it in 14. That was my favorite player. That's why I played the running back position because of O.J. And I don't think it should be an asterisk by it. Look, as time goes on, the games, they play more games in all sports. That's just part of it. And if he breaks a record, he breaks it. My thing was, did I want him to break it? No. I'm not out there jumping up and down with pom-poms.
Right, yeah.
If someone breaks my record, I wanted my son to break it. If he plays professional football, he's only 12. He plays pro football. I want him to break it. That's why I want to break my record.
You just mentioned that the extension of the NFL season, and now they're even talking about maybe even extending it a further week. There's got to be an end point because NFL is like football's a tough game to play, man. These guys are getting banged up.
Man, let me tell you something. I wish you would have had a bye week when I played.
Yeah,
I think at the bye week came at the end of my career. And we played during the preseason. That was another thing. We played preseason games. And we played in the Pro Bowl. So I know the NFL, if they could have a game every day of the week, they would.
The entire year,
But if they could have one every day, they would. That's how they are because they don't know what it's like to get hit out there. Those Thursday night games are short. It's a short week. It's tough on the players. It's tough to get ready. You got to understand, when you play a sport like football, you have to get your mind right. Mm-hmm. You have to get your mind right to get hit. You got to get your mind right to play in the cold. You got to get your mind right when you're not feeling good or you're hurt and you're trying to play through injuries and the fans are like, man, why come he can't run? Why come the quarterback can't throw the ball? Well, hell, he had a separated shoulder a couple of weeks ago. Or the defensive lineman, he got a hamstring problem. They don't see all that. They don't know that part of it. So the long seasons, it's treacherous on the body.
Yeah.
So, talking about the league now and the changes, kind of on a more optimistic note, if you were in your prime right now, which offense would you want to be a part of?
Man, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I'm telling you, I see that offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, man, I like that. I mean, I'll take either one of these teams because you know what? They have a quarterback. I mean, if I played with Mahomes, if I had a quarterback, oh my God.
How many would you have rushed for if you had a quarterback?
Oh my goodness, man, you kidding me? I know one point when we played the Bears in that '85 season. That season, the rumor was we could have got Warren Moon, but we got Dieter Brock. Now, if I'd have had Warren Moon as a quarterback, let me tell you something. It's no fun walking to the line of scrimmage and seeing the safeties 8 yards deep. That's no fun. I mean, right there with the referees. I mean, you frustrated. It's like, man, I don't know what we're gonna do, but man, I wish I did have. But the Eagles' offensive line, they do a great job. I got to say, they do a great job. Their schemes are great. They do a lot of man-to-man, do a lot of cross blocking. Some of the plays they run look like we ran. You know, the something OT plays, the toss plays. Those are plays that get the running back in open space.
Have you noticed any evolution into the position of running back in terms of how these players are kind of playing? Like, do they play with? Like, I think they catch balls out of the backfield maybe a little bit more now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do that more because in our era we ran the football more. Who was running? I mean, my first year was most I ever had my receptions. I had 51 receptions, I think, for 497 yards or something like that. After that, I didn't have a lot of quarterbacks. Vince Ferragamo was my best quarterback I played with. We just run the football. Our only team that really threw the football to the receivers back in that era was the 49ers with Bill Walsh. And let me tell you something. He was a genius. Yeah. And people might think he was really smart.
Changed the game.
He changed the game. I played. I had the fortune to play and with him. Coach us in the Pro Bowl. I think my rookie year. And man, I mean the offense that he ran, and the coming out the backfield, or how you read the linebackers and stuff, read the routes. I mean, that's game changing. And so for sure, it's a different game.
Talk to us about the NFL's new On3 weight, health, and height campaign.
Well, I think the big thing is seeing your doctor. Taking care of yourself. I think I can speak for black men. A lot of black men, we don't like to go to the doctor. I do. I'm telling you, my thing about me, I will go to the doctor when I'm not feeling good. We have high blood pressure. We have hypertension, cholesterol problems. But you've got to work out. You've got to stay fit, but you've got to get that checkup. You've got to take care of yourself because your body's like a car. It's like if you don't change the oil or let the oil run dry, the engine gonna burn up. That body gonna burn up too.
Yep.
Yeah, so if people want to find out more information about that campaign, NFL on3, the number 3.org. Before we let you go, we need your Super Bowl prediction.
I'll say this much here. I'm not a fan of really either team. My good friend Christian Okoye played for the Chiefs, so I kind of want the Chiefs, but I got to say, it's hard to bet against Mahomes.
It
man.
is. Really. I've done it too many times. I'm done.
I did too.
Yeah.
You can't bet against him, and I like to see him have that three-peat.
Yeah.
I mean, I really would. Nobody, no quarterback, no team has ever done it. I like Andy Reid a lot. Yeah. So, I'm pulling for the Chiefs, but really, I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
They knocked us out, knocked the Rams out, so I'm done with it.
That is the conversation this week. Is like, are you cheering for the historic three-peat, or do you just want to see someone else win? I'm more on the camp of seeing someone else win, but I'm not going to bet against Mahomes.
Well, I'll say this much: if you want to see somebody, I would like to see somebody ain't been here before.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like Detroit might have been.
Detroit.
The Buffalo. Well, the Bills been years ago. The Bills or somebody who's never been here.
Yeah.
Even like the Cleveland Browns. That's wishing, but
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Somebody that's never ever been here. I think that's what people want to see. But this is what you have, and this is the game.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time. Eric Dickerson, NFL legend.
Yeah, one of the greats.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.